Today we're going to be talking about parallel and perpendicular lines. You have to know the difference about what they are. So what I showed you right here is examples of what parallel lines look like and perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines don't just cross. They don't just cross. They cross and they form right angles. Okay? It's a specific type of intersection. It's not just, oh, they cross, they're perpendicular. No, they have to cross and make perfect right angles. So parallel lines, what do you know about parallel lines? They never intersect. So parallel lines never, you're writing this down, intersect. Nunca van a cruzar. Right? How do we know when two lines are parallel? Not just because I'm looking at them and I can tell, but also because they have the same what? Parallel lines have the same slope. Parallel lines have the same slope. Okay? So from now on, when you see two lines that have the same slope, you should know that they are parallel. For instance, problem number 4. Okay? This is the slope here. This is the slope here. So m equals 7. M equals 7. What are these two lines? What are they? Parallel. Same slope. They are parallel. So from now on, whenever you see equations and you see that the slope is the same, know that they're going to be parallel. You can also graph them and look and see that they are parallel. Okay? Now, perpendicular lines are lines that cross and form a right angle. So lines that intersect to form 90-degree angles. Right? Right angles. So, how do we know if two lines are perpendicular? So, I'm going to teach you something new. Perpendicular lines have negative reciprocals. Or opposite reciprocal. Negative reciprocal, opposite reciprocal, same thing. Okay? And you're probably thinking, well, what's a negative reciprocal? Some of you have already seen or remember what a reciprocal is. A reciprocal is when you flip, right? A negative reciprocal is the complete opposite. So you're going to change the sign. Change sign. And you're going to flip the fraction. So we're going to do two things. We're going to change the sign, make sure that the signs are different, and we're going to flip the fraction. So right here, if I change the sign, what does it become? What kind of number is this? Positive or negative? This one's positive. So if I change the sign, it will be negative. And if I flip these two, it becomes 4/3. These two are negative reciprocals. That's what I'm talking about when I say negative reciprocal. So let's practice another one. If this is 2, positive 2, what's the other one going to be? Negative, right? This is 2/1. So if I flip it, what does it become? 1/2. So the negative reciprocal of 2 is negative 1/2. So if it doesn't have a number underneath, just put it over 1. What about this one? If it's negative, what is it going to be? Positive. If it's 7/8, what is the other one going to be? 8/7. Good job. So down here at the bottom, the directions are tell whether the equations are parallel, perpendicular or neither, ninguno. So this one I know that is parallel because we did it a little while ago. Let's do this one. This is my slope. This is my slope. Write it down. M equals 4 over 5. And M equals a negative 5 over 4. Those are not parallel. Are those perpendicular? Yes, they're perpendicular because you flip them, right? And you change the sign. One's positive, one's negative. So these are perpendicular. What about this one? This is my slope. This is my slope. M equals negative 1/3. And M equals, hold on, because it's not writing it correctly. M equals a positive 1/3. Are these parallel? Are they the same slope? No. Are these perpendicular? No, because one's negative, one's positive, but they didn't flip. You see, no se voltearon. So these are neither, ninguno. Neither. Okay? What about this one? This is my slope. This is my slope. M equals negative 1 over 6. And M equals a positive 6 over 1. Are they perpendicular? Yes, they are perpendicular because one's negative, one's positive, one's 1 over 6, and one's 6 over 1. So these are perpendicular. What about these two? The slope right here is 1. The slope right here is negative 1. Positive 1, negative 1. M equals 1 over 1. And M equals negative 1 over 1. Remember, if it doesn't have something underneath, just put it over 1 all the time. So I know that they have different symbols. One's positive, one's negative. And when I flip them, they do flip 1 over 1. So are these perpendicular, yes or no? Yes, they are perpendicular. And what are these two? Parallel because they have the same slope. Okay, let's do the page to the right. Okay, here we're going to do some stuff that we did before. We're going to use this formula to create lines. We have to write the lines now, okay, because we don't have answer choices. If we had answer choices, then just use the answer choices. And I'll show you right now how we're going to do that. But this one says, write the equation of the line that passes through this point. This is x, y. And it's parallel, same slope, right, to the line y equals negative 4x plus 1. So if it's the same slope, right, if I need it to be parallel, then it has to have a negative 4 as a slope. So m equals negative 4. I'm going to write this somewhere else. M equals negative 4. Okay? So we're going to start writing the equation using this one. So that's y minus, right? Y minus, what is my y1? 7. Equals m, what is my slope? Negative 4. Parentheses. X minus my x, which is a negative 2, right? Negative becomes a positive, so plus 2. So if it's negative, it's going to become a positive because minus a negative is a positive. Okay, now we have to distribute. So we're going to distribute the negative 4 times x and the negative 4 times 2. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. What's negative 4 times 2 in decimals? Negative 4 times 2. Negative 8. Okay, we're going to bring this down. Y minus 7 equals. I have to move the negative 7 over here and change the sign. You have to change the sign so it becomes plus 7. If I combine these two in decimals, what does it give you? Negative 8 plus 7 in decimals. What is it? Negative 1. So negative 4x minus 1 is my equation. How would I do it in decimals? How would I do it in decimals? First of all, you have to know that this is the same slope as this one. So I know that these are going to be parallel. And then this line has to go through that point. So we're going to put this point in decimals and we're going to type this equation in decimals and it has to go through the point. So pause the video and put it in decimals right now. So when I type the point and the equation, my line goes through the point, so then that is the answer. Okay? Let's do another one. Let's do one that's perpendicular. Down here at the bottom, we're going to use the same formula. Y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. Oops, 1. But now it wants it to be perpendicular. So this is my x, this is my y, perpendicular to this. So if this is my slope, what's going to be perpendicular? M equals. This one's positive, so this one has to be negative. This is 2 over 1, so this has to be 1 over 2. Thank you. So when you look at the answer choices, you're looking for something that has negative 1/2 as the slope. Okay? So y minus my other y, which is 3, equals my m is negative 1/2, right? This is the slope that I'm looking for. Negative 1/2. Parentheses. X minus what? 4. Okay, so now we have to distribute. So negative 1/2 times x is negative 1/2 x. And negative 1/2 times negative 4, negative 1/2 times negative 4 is a positive what? 2. I have to move this over, right? Move this over, change the sign, it becomes a plus 3. So now I have y equals all of this. What's 2 plus 3? 5. So my equation's y equals negative 1/2 x plus 5. So those of you who don't like to do this by hand, who want to do it in decimals, you would type the answer choices. Let's say this is one of my answer choices. This is perpendicular to this one, right, because it's the negative reciprocal, and it needs to go through that point. So pause the video and put that in decimals. Okay, so this is my point. This is my answer. It goes through the point, and let's check that it is perpendicular. My original line was y equals 2x minus 4. Do they look perpendicular? They do look perpendicular. Look, they form a right angle right there. The green line does not have to go through that point, just the blue line has to.